So some similarities of how everything is tied in, like even when it comes to religions and spiritual beliefs, they're all, dealt with the same conclusion, occult practices and the tools, right? So I want to start with the Schrodinger's cat experiment. It was an experiment where this man would put a box over a cat, and then there was two potential outcomes. The cat would still be in the box, or the cat wouldn't be in the box. So the cat would disappear, the cat would not disappear, right? Which can go into the divination of tarot for the possibilities for you pulling out a certain card. What's his name? Arthur Waite he really studied tarot from like 1470s as far as it went back, and for each card back then, there was archetypes and there were scenarios that would happen to people in that current time. So for the 78 cards that we all know from the Rider deck, they're all true scenarios that happen in people's life. So you can resonate with it, whichever kind of layout you have, and that's why it can really get close to you. It's more of a psychological tool, right? But that's going to reconfigure your subconscious mind, having this thought of things actually happening, or you're just kind of creating the course of story for you, then changing the story that you already were on, and that's in the back of your mind, which goes into chaos magic from Osmond Spare. He was an artist and philosopher. He all in short, created with this conclusion that you can create your own sigil using a phrase and then subtracting the vowels and letters with the remaining letters and using the lines inside of those letters to create the sigil for yourself. There's a lot of ways to charge these sigils. There's a woman that I Kundalini is involved for why I disagree, but she says sexual energy is a good way of doing it. There's other ways of exerting energy onto the sigil to make it a real thing, right? Which would make a lot of sense because you have to put a lot of energy in trauma bonding. That's why people in boot camp get along so well. So you're putting a lot of energy to memorize it, to create that connection with the sigil. You forget about the sigil after you're done doing this, and with you seeing the image and making this connection with it, and you forget about it, it's going to be in the back of your mind to where the likeliness for this affirmation to take time or real place in real time, it's going to happen because your brain is on a higher plane. It's connected to the fourth dimension, which is tied into jinns and demons and angels, to where people who get butterfly tattoos are tied into some sort of demon, to where they're left up with the ultimatum to get a butterfly tattoo to symbolize that they are of the same bond with the demon amongst everybody else who also has butterfly tattoos, which is associated sexual deviancy. Now, the mind is a very powerful thing. There's a lot of things about it, but tarot and chaos magic have those two things going for them for themselves, from what I see. And more or less out of occult not magic, but rituals. Occult's like hidden, obscure knowledge. It's not necessarily like occult is different. Like even with the Egyptians, another way to reconfigure the mind is that they would sodomize somebody and abuse them to where they're in a trance, and then they would just be left to be reprogrammed. And that's going to be the trauma and stuff like that, because creating trauma bonding, again, like what I said in the military, you get closer to this sacred bond, just as fornication for a man and a woman. You're creating a celestial child out of that nexus, out of that union, or that covenant, if you want to be really religious. So got that, and all in all, conclusion is that it seems like it's psychology amplified, and I think true divination is going to be of astrology and earth-based astrology and numerology, because that is, I would say in my opinion, a real pseudoscience. Everything else is more of an amplified psychological tool that does create an effect. The mind's a very interesting thing. Men and women are different when it comes to how they think, because one's a communist, the other one's a capitalist. Fun fact, apparently snakes are more communist than any other Chinese zodiac sign, which is funny because communist, the first vowel in the word communist is O, and snake is a 6th sign, O's 15th, 1 and 5 is 6. I digress. But yeah, hope this all makes sense. So thank you.